afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Hey, C. Mandy. Good afternoon, beautiful. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. It's been one heck of a day. Of course, we're going to talk about that Trump made an appearance today. Hey, Dr. Africa, how are you? Thank you, Jody. I appreciate it. Hey, Mrs. Thompson. Good afternoon to you, beautiful. Yeah, so we're going to talk today about, Trump finally, making an appearance after being away for, us not seeing him. And that's not like Trump. The reason why it's up for topic for conversation, because Trump is nobody to avoid the camera. I'm doing okay, Dr. Africa. Good afternoon, pretty butterfly. And I hope you're doing well, Dr. Africa. Hello, hi, Seneth. How are you? I think I said your name right. But good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I hope you had a wonderful day. It wasn't anything that was insane. Hopefully this week for you will be pretty quiet, considering it's kind of like a holiday week. A lot of people hopefully took this week off. So hopefully, it's kind of quiet for you. Hey, Stacy D. Hey, Kim. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tried to say he didn't see people thinking, yeah, listen, he saw it. Pawpaw was on the internet. We all know Trump's always on there. Now I'm gonna show you a picture, some pictures I took from that press conference. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. Okay. Let's use this one. Now, I took that picture today, as he was talking on the television. Now, the thing that stood out to me was he looked pretty tired. He did look tired. He had even bigger bags under his eyes. He looks heavier. Those were things that I noticed today. But I'm going to tell you why Trump had this press conference today. Because those Epstein victims met with Congress today. See, this is an attempt to try to keep that stuff out of the press. You got to understand that. That's the attempt, to keep this stuff out the press. Okay? That's the real reason why Trump wanted to do a press conference. Because the whole goal is to keep you from thinking about the Epstein files and that picking up again. He didn't want you to be able to do that. And that's the sole reason why he ultimately had that press conference today, in my humble opinion. I'm just telling you my humble opinion. I think that that's why. Because anything he can do to try to keep you from talking about Epstein is what he wants to do. Anything. So let me stop for a second and say good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon. I hope you had a great Tuesday. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate you being here. As always, if you're new here, thank you for being here for your first time. I hope you enjoy yourself. Pull up a seat, sit down, have a conversation, and have a great time. All I ask you to do, if you can tap that like button for me, I would appreciate it, because it helps to elevate my live. And if you could hit that copy link button, even if you don't send it to anybody, it still counts as a share for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for any gifts that you provide. You're not required to do that to be here. All I ask you to do is enjoy yourself. Ultimately, enjoy yourself and hit like and share. That's really it. So thank you for joining me. I want to let folks know who are inside my Patreon group from Circle on Up. I left a new episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast in there today. Okay? So it's episode 31. And I titled it, Who Raised Us? A Lost Generation. The general public, everybody will have access to it tomorrow. If you want access to it today, check out Patreon. Because one of those things, the perks of being on Patreon is you get access to the episodes earlier, right? And so I talk about the generation of latchkey kids and all the people and things that had an influence on raising us, and how that has shaped who we have become as we became adults, and how we look at the youth that are, the people that are younger than us, how we look at children and young adults, and how our experiences shape what we expect of them, and if it's reasonable or not to expect those things. So I think you're going to enjoy that episode. I really like talking about that, especially taking it. One of the things that it made me think about back in the day, you didn't just, it wasn't just your family that made an impression on you. You had your family, you had your entire community, you had friends, you had your school. It was all because we didn't have internet, right? Not back in the day. I'm talking pre-internet. And so those were all the entities that had an influence on our lives. Now, of course, it starts off with just the people that live in your house, but your community was crucial in shaping you, because people in your neighborhood would comment on things that you're doing. They would be actively involved in the raising of you. Back in the day, they would be. We talked about this before. There was no hooking school back in the day and staying in your community. Because if you did, somebody in your community was snitching. Somebody in your community was making sure that your family knew you didn't go to school. Hey, dude, good afternoon to you. Back in the day, your community was invested on you being successful, because your success was the community's success. I remember graduating, anytime you would graduate from school, whether it's elementary school, middle school, or high school, the entire community is coming outside when you're graduating. Hey, Cedric. Everybody was invested in you back in the day. I remember my community. They were invested in me. They loved me, and I loved my community back. Now it's not really the same thing. Hey, Dr. Silva, good afternoon, beautiful. And hey, Miss Sips T. It's not, communities aren't like that anymore. But that had an influence on who we became as individuals. And so as I was working through that episode, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, it was so different back then. It was so different back then. But we also, as latchkey kids, you also had a lot of responsibilities that you probably shouldn't have had at such an early age, but you had to have it because your parents had to work. You know what I mean? If you were lucky, you had one parent that would stay at home, or had somebody that was always home, but everybody didn't have a situation like that. So if you were the type of kid that had to come home, whether it was at 8 years old or 12 years or 13 years old, and you had your keys around your neck all day and you made your way home, you knew that there were chores that you were supposed to do. Nobody had to tell you or remind you. You knew what you had to do. Yep, and you knew you had to go straight home. You said, do you change your sound? Did you change it? No, I didn't. You think I did? Does something sound different? Let me know. Only thing I did recently was change how I plug my system into. I plug it into the phone now instead of Bluetooth connection. So that's the difference that I do. Does it sound bad though? Because if it does sound bad, I can change it back to the other way. Y'all let me know. Sounds monochrome versus stereo. Okay, hold on. Let me change it back to the other one because I don't want that sound to be all mucky. Hold on. Can y'all hear it? Is it better now? Since I took that out in that way. Okay. Yep. Okay. That's what it is. It's because I had, hold on for a second. Let me hook up my power. Hold on. That's what it was. It was that. Hold on for a second. Hold on. I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. All right. All right. Is that okay now? Okay. Is it louder now than it was before? Because the funny thing is, before I had it hooked directly into the phone, but interestingly enough, that didn't work out very well. I hope that's better. Is that better? Good. Okay. thank you guys for giving me that feedback, because I wouldn't know that because on my side, I'm only hearing what's in the headphones. And what's in the headphones isn't necessarily, I'm going to turn it up a little more. Can you hear me even better? Because I had to turn my sound up some more too. So I hope that helps a lot more. Hope that helps. Okay, awesome. So as I was saying, oh, y'all want me to reset something? Oh, okay. Hold on for 1 second. I didn't even notice it. Hold on, I'm trying to approve. Yes, I want to approve that. Okay. Hold on, I gotta wait for the thing to come back. But I was saying, as we're talking about that, I remember I was a latchkey kid. I started being a latchkey kid around 12 or 13, 12 years old. No, it had to be maybe I was 12, because I was already in middle school at that time, 12 or 13, somewhere around there. That's when I had to start coming home solo, solo dolo. You be on that bus. Like, I grew up in the city, so I caught the bus to and from school, the public city bus. We didn't get a school bus. We got a public city bus. So you catch a public city bus to school, and you catch a public city bus home, but you knew to bring your ass straight home. That's what you knew. Hey, Mind Games, I'm doing well. I hope you are too. And I remember those days. You had chores you had to do. You did your homework. You just made sure it was all this stuff you got done before your parents got home. Nobody had to remind you, because you knew it was what you had to do. But I talk in this episode about, I think that while we learned a lot of things, because some people didn't necessarily have a family structure. Some people had to grow up at a very young age. They were taking care of themselves and their siblings. So they didn't get to enjoy a lot of childhood because they had a lot of adult responsibilities. Look, Oscar says, took cab rides to school when he was late for school. I believe it. But some people had to be mini adults when they were growing up. Thank you so much, Olu. Some people had to do that. So they didn't get to enjoy their childhood as much. And I know for many of us, we feel like it makes us tough and it makes us strong. But at the same time, there was a lot we missed out on having to be that type of individual so young, And I one of the things I talk about in this podcast episode is, have we lost some level of our empathy and compassion for young folks because we had to do so much? They didn't have to, which is evident in how they handle things now, right? They're markedly different in the way that we would handle things. But I think a lot of that has to do with the experiences that we had very early on in our lives. And we came up at a time when parenting was a little different. It was before helicopter parenting. You know what I mean? Back in our day, parents were almost like, go outside and play, and I'll see you when you get back. You just better be back before those street lights come on. You could be any number of places in that time. You might have stayed just in your neighborhood. You and your friends might have ventured off somewhere, miles and miles away, where as long as your feet or your bikes or your skateboards could take you, that's what you were doing. You know what I mean? You didn't necessarily stay just in your neighborhood. Yep, ride the bus to the city. You did all types of stuff. As long as you were home before those streetlights came on, you was good. Wow, you said you've been making your own medical appointments since 13. Me too. And not because my mother wouldn't have, but I remember my mother putting it as my responsibility. Like, I had to do this. Oh, you guys rode them all to the bus every Saturday? Yeah, we were very different in that regard. Very different in that regard. And so I explore a lot of that in this particular episode. Like, have those changes in who we are. Has it changed how we see the young people, and are we being unreasonable in what we're expecting of them? So I think it's a good conversation. And I want you guys to share when you hear it. Leave a comment about your own story, about who raised you and how
you were raised, how it shaped how you see the world now. Because all of our experiences do that. You said you rode bikes all over Queens, New York. Yeah, that's how we were back then. When we left the house, we left the house. Wow, you went and applied for your ID by yourself at 14. Users 229 said you took your siblings to the doctor. You said, dude said, I didn't do laundry since I was 7. Oh, you mean you did do laundry for the house since you were 7. I can believe it. Too many Gen Xers were abused by community members, so trust is all. Yeah, some of that happened. But understand, that didn't just begin with Generation X, beloved. That was happening before that generation and after, and still happening. That hasn't changed. I think it changed how my generation parent their child. I would agree. You were emancipated at 16. Wow. That means that you were like, yeah, I can do a better job raising myself. I'm going to go ahead and just do this my own way. I can't do any worse than what y'all are doing. So I can understand that. I can understand the need to be emancipated so you can really make your own decisions and take care of yourself in the way that you need it to be. But yeah, a lot of people from back in the day, us, the Gen Xers, we had a lot of that stuff, just like, it was and I think it goes back to how our parents were raised. And that's real talk. It really goes back to, because our parents, I remember my mother told me at one point, she said, I did the best that I could do with the information I had at the time. She said, I know it wasn't perfect. Looking back on it, I see that now. But at the same time, I just want to make clear, I did the best that I could do with what I knew. And what her parents knew was even less than what she knew. You know what I mean? So it's like you build on it and you just try to make better decisions. Yeah, Planned Parenthood was a thing when I was a teen too. Yep, I never wanted to be. I remember when I was growing up, preventing teen pregnancy was a huge thing. The government was highly focused on it. Communities were focused on it because they were seeing what was happening with young people having babies. And I know for me at a very early age, because see, my mother had me when she was 16. So my mother was adamant that there were going to be no more, that we were breaking the cycle, right? And we did. My brother and I, we didn't have any teen babies. None. Because my mama wasn't having that. I didn't have my first child till I was like 24. I only had 2 kids. And both of them with my husband. That's it. I didn't go have a whole trough of children, as they say. But I was always very aware of I was always just very aware of like not wanting to get caught up in that, because I knew how tough it could be. I just knew, because I had family members who had kids, not teen kids, but had kids. So I knew how hard it was to have kids because I always saw kids around. So for me, I just didn't want kids at that young of an age. I just didn't. And quiet as kept at 24, I still felt like I was too young. But okay, it's not 16, Had your first at 31 and second at 36. Yeah, that's a pretty good age. Now, you can't pay me to have babies in my 40s, though. If I hadn't had any babies by the time I was 40, I wouldn't have any babies. Because on a personal level, having a baby is extremely taxing on your body. So ain't no fucking way I would have been having a baby at 40 years old. Not having it. But I remember growing up, there was a big push to prevent teen pregnancy. And a lot of parents were focused on kind of just letting children just be their own person. Now, when you did stuff that they considered too weird, they would step in here or there. But for the most part, listen, when you left the house, you could do and go anywhere you wanted to, as like I said, as long as you were back home when those streetlights came on. And because it was so cheap to move about, right? When we were growing up, it was markedly cheaper to live, was it not? You could have $5 and move around the entire city multiple times. You could be out all day long. All day long, you could be out, literally. And the reason why you're able to be out, because it didn't cost nothing. I remember when the bus was 50 cents. I remember when the bus went to $1. Look, I'm that old. I'm that old. You know? I am that old. But I remember those times. I remember all of that. So over time things changed. But we stayed out all day. That's what that original that's what that original thing of you smell like outside come from. That's where that come from. Because our parents used to say to us, you smell like outside, you need to go take a bath. Because they did not like for us to smell like outside inside of their home. They didn't like that. They would say to you, quick. Well, no, dude, some of the homeless did have mental illness. Only reason why I know, because back in the day, my mother, when we were growing up, even when we were in elementary school, my mother used to do volunteer work where we would have to go to homeless shelters, soup kitchens, old folks home, because my mother was always like, you need to remember, if not for the grace of God, it could be you. You always need to treat people with respect, because you never know, it could be you. So we would always, have to volunteer and be a part of something like that. A lot of those people, a lot of times, were veterans. I'm telling you. And even if they did have mental illness, a lot of it was the direct result of the things they saw when they served. And they never got the proper treatment nor help for. And they just trying to live with it as best they can. That's what we found. That's what I saw growing up. I'm being honest with you. I can't speak for other regions, but that's what I saw growing up. My mother used to make us, I remember on Christmas, every Christmas, my mama, she was a funny person. Or she was interesting, I'll say it like that. Every Christmas, at the end of the evening, we would always ride down to downtown DC and go to look for the ladies on the stroll. Just to look to see who was outside. And my mother would be like, I want you to look at these women. Understand that they're people, right? Understand that they're people, but at the same time, make good decisions, okay? Make good decisions. Thank you, moderator. I'm not hoping for anything. Why is he so upset? I just showed a bruise in the hand. Anyway, it's a No King's Day protest coming up again? Okay. The only thing that I tell people, and I'm going to keep saying it again, protests are a waste of time if y'all not willing to do all the other things you have to do when it's not time to protest. That's real talk. If you're not willing to protest with your wallet, if you're not willing to protest with your labor, then showing up for a random protest every so often is not going to change anything with the machine. I'm just keeping it all the way a buck with y'all. This is why I don't be signing up for protests like that. Because I always go, well, what's the long-term plan? Like, what's your real plan to change anything? Because if you don't have a plan to change nothing, you just going to sit stagnant in that same spot, and you're just going to get more and more frustrated. So you have to have a real plan in order to change the system. You really do. And protesting with your wallet is smart. You said a lot of service members also have foreign-born spouses. They do. People forget about that part. A lot of military members have foreign-born spouses. So I'm thinking that a lot of their spouses are going to get caught up in this immigration stuff, and they're going to be deported. Because for a lot of them, they're probably not citizens yet. It takes a while to become a citizen. It isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time and it takes money. So, for a lot of the people people don't realize a lot of the people that voted for this are immigrants that became citizens. But they forgot that. Now their family members are caught up in this shit. And now it's like, oh shit. I didn't know he was going to do that. I don't know how, because he told you he was going to do it. Say it again, Boom Like 80, them Florida Cubans. I don't think that they thought that they would ever be a target by the Trump administration. You thought wrong. You thought wrong. Trump made sure to make very clear he didn't care which country it was. If you're not Caucasian, he got a problem with it. I mean, that's what he made very clear. So a lot of people got their wake-up call. Now, hopefully they woke up. I mean, the real key is you got to wake up. Yep, say it again, Cedric. The leopards are eating all types of faces. And they are. But MAGA voted for this. That's the thing that they lose sight of a lot, but MAGA voted for it. This is what MAGA said that they wanted. This is what they said they wanted. They said that they wanted Trump back because he meant lower prices. Look at this steak right here. Does that look low to y'all? Don't look low to me. That's a lot of money. Did you know? Oh, wow. The wall money came from the military housing fund? Wow. Or is it for that black paint that Kristi Noem wants to do? Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. You went to the store earlier. 3 steaks were $40. Oh, hell no. $40 for 3 steaks? No. Kimmy, no, I think Kimmy's good. What did Kimmy say? No, I think Kimmy's okay. I think. Because Kimmy has been in here before. Or am I confusing Kimmy with Kim? I may be. Or maybe it's the other Kimmy. I don't eat that fake meat. Like that Beyond Burger stuff, I've been stopped eating that years ago because it makes my stomach hurt. And many would vote the same. Yep, many would vote the same way if they get the chance. Like, look at this one. Look at this other thing I found. Hold on. Look at that. $32 for maple syrup. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But this is the direct result of this tariff crap. Direct result of tariff crap. That's crazy. That's crazy. So more and more, if you can, during all of this, red snapper was $50. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. That's too much. Well, the best syrup is Canadian maple syrup. So you got to pay for that. This is the direct result of a trade war being started that didn't need to be started. That's what this is. This is the direct result of that. Oh, your mom called you to beg you to buy a can? Yeah, because I'm like, if it's $32 now, oh, by the time you get to Christmas, it's going to be $50 easy. Easy. I can only imagine what they're paying in Alaska. You say that's DEI syrup? Nah, it ain't DEI syrup. That's Donald Trump tariff syrup. That's what that is. And it's only going to get more expensive. It's only going to get more expensive. Hold on, I saw this one too. Because I was like, OMG. Hold on. Yeah, I showed you guys that one. Hold on. Then this one. $6.99 a pound. For beef round. For London broil. That's it. $6.99 a pound. Who the hell eating that? I would leave it right there. And quiet is kept with that screwworm thing going on. I'm already funny about ground beef. Because government is so dysfunctional right now. And because government is so dysfunctional right now, I just don't trust it. The eggs in Alaska are cheaper with tariffs. They come from Canada. Ah, you stopped eating meat a long time ago. That's smart. I want to too, but bacon, it just keep calling me, man. It's bacon. Bacon takes me down, man. Bacon takes me down, especially thick cut. Oh. I be trying to do better. Because honestly, I could be a vegetarian. If really, I could be a vegetarian. But it's that fucking bacon. It's that swine, that pig. I can give up all of that other stuff. The chicken, the beef, goat. I can even give up goat. But that pig, that swine. I just... Oh, it's you, ham? For me, it's everything. Chicharrones. Everything. Every little part of the pig. Now, I don't eat trotters no more. I used to eat those like decades ago. I don't suck on no pig's foot no more. You know, I haven't had fried pork chops in a long time. But pork is tough. Not keep the curry goat. If you're a vegetarian, you can't keep the goat. Oh, you're allergic to pork. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. That has to be tough. That has to be tough. That has to be tough. That I would stay in somebody's ER. They'd be like, "You here again, girl?" "Yes, girl, I had a BLT." Girl, it just smells so good. I know what it's gonna do. I couldn't help it. Get the EpiPen. I just know. I just would stay in somebody's emergency center dealing with pork. I just already know if it was that the case. Now, I haven't had bacon yet. I'm trying to think. Have I? No, that's not true. I had pork sausage on Sunday. Because you can count Sunday as the start of the week. So I did have pork sausage on Sunday. Because I had shrimp and grits. So I did. But since then, I haven't had not one piece of pork. Not one piece. But I tell you, I'm yearning. But I'm chilling. I remember I told you I was going to make crispy pork belly. I didn't even take my thick cut pork belly out the deep freezer. I just left it there. Matter of fact, I got a couple packs of bacon in my deep freezer downstairs. I purposefully haven't gone down there to take a pack out and bring it up and put it in the refrigerator because I already know what's going to happen if I bring it upstairs. I'm going to make a BLT. I already know. You said EpiPens are like $600 for 2 last time. Oh my God. Before the tariffs? Oh, ain't no telling what it costs now. Ain't no telling what they cost now. Yeah, so now I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to show you something else I saw earlier. Look at this. Now, they were talking about under Biden, they're showing prices. Cheese was $4.54. Your other stuff, your ground beef, your romaine lettuce, total under Democrats was about, on average, $14. Going to GOP, how it goes up every time. So now they want to say Americans now think that Democrats are better at handling inflation. No shit, Sherlock. Of course. Republicans always cause deficits. They always cause recessions. I told y'all. Did I not tell y'all Republican policies always mess up pocketbooks? I told y'all. And yeah, this is averages. Because everything is much higher than what the experts are saying. They'll say something went up 6%. I'm like, bullshit. Our grocery bill has doubled. Our grocery bill has doubled. At bare minimum, it has doubled. So I'm like, it's no damn way that it's 9% or 15%. No, our grocery bill has doubled. At least. And depending on what you need to get, it could be more. And so that's why I ask a lot of people who vote for Trump, how much are you willing to pay to continue on with these policies? You're not even a year in yet. And he's already raised your grocery bill, your utility bills, your insurance bills. Everything has gone up. Everything. Clothing, insurance, vehicles, getting work done on your house, getting work done on your car. Like everything has gone up. There is no industry that has remained untouched. Because even industries not affected by the tariffs see that everybody else who is getting more money. So they're raising their stuff too because they can. I told y'all these prices ain't never going back down. Where we are now, we are there. Yeah, mac and cheese expensive. You know why? Because cheese expensive. Milk is expensive. Eggs are expensive. All that shit costs money. All that stuff costs money. I ran into a video on TikTok today of a lady. Remember I told you I bought that bread maker the other day because I said I'm going to start baking my own loaf bread and other bread in here. And she also mills her own flour. And I said, now wait a minute. Because she was talking about how it makes it better. Now granted, she is selling the little, she is through a little TikTok shop affiliate. Yeah, but I did look up. It is more because they're not processing it. Processed flour takes out all the good stuff, right? Because they want it to sit on the shelves as long as possible so they can sell it. Man, I tell you, I'm tempted. But I'm first waiting until I get my bread maker. My bread maker supposed to be here Thursday. You said hack you learn from mac and cheese. Cheaper is just to buy the elbow noodles and buy the cheese powder in bulk. Yeah? If you're that pressed for mac and cheese, just do that. I don't eat mac and cheese that much. I really only eat it around Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's not a dish that I make very often because as I've gotten older, it tears my stomach up. You love your bread maker, Caress? Yeah, I can't wait to get mine. I can't wait till I get it. So I'm interested in getting my bread maker, like I said, I get it Thursday. So we'll see. Oh, you eat a lot of ramen, ... I like ramen too. My favorite ramen is yakisoba noodles. I love that. The yakisoba brand, is that what it's called? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, the Manchurian yakisoba, those are good. I like those. The kind that I used to like for the other kind, they stopped making them. So I don't even waste my time with those anymore. I'm just checking something. Okay. Let's see. I need to start making my, I bake bread already at home anyway, but I was like, I would love a bread maker to make it even easier, especially for mixing dough. That's really the primary thing. I hate kneading dough. I can't stand to knead dough. It was fun 3 or 4 times, then I lost interest. Yeah, you just got to find things that keep your interest and things you're going to eat. Sandwich bread, muffins, scones, donuts. It's many different things, bread, mixes you can make that will really get you going. I've continued to do my research on Veracruz, Sonoma, and still looking good. I was even talking with my oldest about it because we were talking about planning a trip for down there to go visit down there. So trust me, I've continued to do my research. It ain't gone nowhere. It has not gone off my radar. You started gardening during the pandemic to pass the time. Now it's a necessity. Yeah, I was out there watering my garden today. My tomato plants are doing really well. I still don't have any tomatoes yet, but I'm starting to get flowers. So hopefully I'm getting close to getting actual tomatoes. I think I'm getting close because they're really tall. I'm getting flowers. So hopefully I'll get to something. Because the only thing I really have out there that I can harvest or that I have harvested already this year has been mint and basil. That's it. Now my peach trees are doing good. They started from just a little tiny little stem to they are doing really, really good. So my corn didn't do well because I didn't plant it in a good pot initially. And my cantaloupe didn't do well because I didn't plant it right initially. So yeah. Oh, you had cucumbers? I didn't plant cucumbers. I should have. Oh, your tomato plants do better in September and October. I hope that they yield some stuff for me come September and October because I haven't gotten anything yet. But they're still growing and they're not dying. I was out there earlier watering them, spraying them down to try to keep them damn aphids away, with something natural to keep the aphids and stuff away because they would tear you up. I'm thinking about going to one of my local nurseries and getting some ladybugs. Now, they're not going to stay, but at least they will initially be there and they can help to eat up any little bad things. You say hand pollinate them. How do I do that? Yours are dying now. Time for garlic. I need to plant. Y'all told me to plant put some tomato seeds up under my, not tomatoes, potato seeds up under my tomato plants, and I've yet to do it. I got to go out there and do that. I forgot about that. Next time, grow with marigolds. Okay, I'll do that. Will marigolds keep weeds away? I know marigolds will also keep the aphids and stuff away and those other bugs. But okay, it won't keep weeds away? Okay. Because the only plant that doesn't really get weeds is a mint plant. And you can't plant mint with anything because it's too gangster. Yeah, okay. But the marigolds will keep the bugs off. Okay. Look up Four Sisters Farming. Okay, I'll look that up. Look, I'm making a note. I also wanted to remind y'all, don't forget that it's September, so you need to start recommending your movies for September. I created a post that I put up, I think, yesterday in Patreon about it. So check it out if you haven't already. Oh, Patuxent Garden in Bowie. Okay. See, I'm not too far from Waldorf, so it's a couple of nurseries by me, too. I don't live in Waldorf, but I'm not far from Waldorf. But I know where that Patuxent Garden is, because I've passed that many times. So I know where that is. Marigolds, sweet alyssum, and basil are what you plant. Okay. Okay. I'm just writing this down. I'm sorry, you guys. I just want to make sure I have that. Yeah, I have the basil. You're a country mile from me. Oh, yeah. So we probably not too far from each other, Sharon. Probably not far at all. I'm in Charles County. Oh, Four Sisters Garden is a Native American method of planting. Okay. I will check into that. Yeah, because, see, I told you I used to grow stuff in the yard, but then I decided to do potted gardening this year, which is really my first time doing potted gardening. And so I had some successes. I've had some failures, but a lot of lessons learned, and I continue to learn lessons. The big thing is understanding that potted gardening requires another level of nutrients that you don't tend to need when you're gardening in the ground in some really good soil. So that's something else that I've learned. Okay, you said broccoli does well in the fall. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing that I've tried to. Hey, butter. Oh, it's more fertilizer, especially when it's rainy. Okay. See, I go by those, what the package says. If the package says every 2 weeks, I'm like, well, I just do it every 2 weeks. But I'm finding out, no, pay attention to my plants more. If I'm seeing some things, or if I'm getting a lot of water, no, I'm going to need to provide more nutrients, So I'm getting there. It's just taking some time. It's just taking some time, but it's better. Now, I wanted to go back out in the yard. I was going to go back out there again, but I can't go back out there again. And I can't go back out there again because now a family of rabbits are, a lot of weeds have grown up where my garden used to be. And it's a family of rabbits living there. And I don't want to kick them out. And then I also know if I do kick them out, I will be fighting those fuckers the entire time with my garden because they've already made the little area home. And so no matter what, it's going to be just a fight to the death out there to protect everything that I have. Forget it. It ain't even worth it. Rabbit is delicious, but I don't even try to catch these rabbits around here. We don't even mess with them. We have so many rabbits, it's ridiculous. Literally, they be getting it in like rabbits. Because they be everywhere. Nah, my dogs can't catch them. My older dog, he has arthritis. He too old. He ain't chasing nothing. And the young dog, they're not fast enough to catch rabbits. Not my dogs. Mm-mm. My dogs aren't fast enough to catch rabbits. And they're fast where I'm at. We have rabbits, wild turkeys, all types of stuff. Of course, I'm in New Mexico, so that lasted about 2 years until some tomato worms came. Ooh, not tomato worms. Yeah, and I've had rabbits as pets too. But I know that if those rabbits, they like that little area because it has the covering and it protects them from predators. That I also have a family of rabbits that live up under our porch. I know I do because I've seen them come run under there or come out from up under there. And so I don't mess with them. They ain't bothering me. I ain't bothering them. So I don't have an interest in eating them. Not those. Mm-mm. And that's the look at Oscar. Oscar like, wait a minute. It's stuff everywhere, Oscar. You won't go hungry, that's for sure. You got deer all around. You got wild turkeys. You got rabbits. Oh, it's plenty to eat if you're looking to eat. Oh, your first 2 dogs could catch anything. My last 3 got too bougie. Yeah, my dogs don't catch nothing. Mm-mm. One of my cats used to catch stuff, but she's gotten older now. She don't even like going outside anymore, and I don't let any of the cats out anymore because the two other cats are older, and the younger cat, Mr. Wick, he too ghetto. He don't listen, so I don't want to let him outside. TikTok sells the small garden houses to keep them out. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Now, y'all tell me, you gardeners tell me about this. Now, on the East Coast, it gets pretty cold. It gets pretty cold come winter. We have some pretty brutal winters. I have 2 peach trees that I'm still growing up. What do I do with these peach trees? I'm assuming I need to bring them in. I would rather have them in my garage than in my house because the fluctuations of temperatures change so much in the house because we have a fireplace, a wood-burning stove fireplace thingy. And so the temperature is gonna be too loopy, too up and down too much. Should I bring them in and put them in the basement where it gets loopy there too? Because it's gonna stay really cold down there because we don't always turn the heat on that side because we have 2 HVAC systems. It's the way the person who built this house built it. It's how they did it. We had nothing to do with it. So it could stay just as cold down there as it would in the garage. So what would you do? So I should buy a little greenhouse. I should buy a greenhouse big enough for both of them, I guess, right? That has lights on the inside and put it in the garage and hook it up so that they can continue to have light and stuff. Because how big do I need to let them get before I plant them in the ground? Because honestly, the only way that I'm going to get a greenhouse for it, I got to find one at a really good price. Otherwise, I'm not getting it because I can't afford to pay more for it than I need to. So, you say, they're in the big fabric 5-gallon containers. Yeah, I'll look on Facebook Marketplace as well. Yeah, because I'm thinking at some point they'll be ready to replant outside in the ground. But I'm thinking maybe I should wait until next year to plant them outside. But they're really good sizes, and one of them, it has so many new branches that it's growing. It's insane. I'm like, every time I turn around, new branches, new branches, new branches. Oh, okay, so if it's really cold, I might want to wrap the pots too. Okay. Yeah, we're going to keep talking about this as we lead up to that, to the temperature change and stuff like that, because again, I just know it gets really cold, and I'm thinking, like stuff like basil and mint, quiet as kept, it'll go dormant when it gets cold, but then as soon as it starts heating up again, it perks back up on its own. You don't really have to do much with it. But I just wasn't sure if my peach trees would be okay. So that was a concern for me. So, but yeah, we got to grow stuff. We got to make stuff from scratch. Folks got to sew clothes if you can, make clothes. I need to get back into sewing. I need to take another class. I don't know why I make learning to sew so difficult. I saw my grandmother sewing all the time, but I make it so difficult because I'm too impatient to do the right thing. You know, measure twice, cut once. I just be like, no, I'm going to eyeball it. No, you can't. No, Miss Girl, you need to measure. Hey, Harmony, you need to measure. So that's something else that I've got to get a better hold on for all of this stuff. Now, y'all know how we were talking about the leopards ate their face. Girl, plant that on your windowsill. Oh, the basil and all that stuff. Okay, I mean, I can, but my pots are so big they wouldn't fit on my windowsill. That's the thing. My basil plants have gotten huge. My mint is getting huge after I clipped it and trimmed it already this summer already. Mint just always gangster, just growing like crazy in that damn pot. Oh, alpaca and sheep for people who can have animals. Peach trees on the windowsills in a dish. A peach tree dish. Yeah, no, I can't do that. But I'm going to look for a greenhouse to put them in. Because I'm looking forward to being able to plant those peach trees outside in the yard and for them to start yielding peaches in a few years. I can't wait. You said the herbs will do well inside also? Okay, easy to propagate. Okay. I'll try to find a big enough greenhouse that I can fit all of that stuff in, but that's also affordable. You know what I mean? Now, will I have to keep the lights on 24 hours a day? Because I don't want to do that. Because honestly, I can't afford no really expensive power bill. My power bill already disrespectful. I caught that Petri dish joke. It was a bad dad joke. I saw it when it happened. Oh, okay. I'll see if I can do a solar one. Or like the timer, like they say. Yeah, getting a lemon and lime tree is cool. If you can find somebody that'll just give you a cutting. Like a lady at my daughter's job gave us 2 peach tree cuttings. And they're growing into full trees. I got the peach tree cuttings maybe in January, February sometime. And now they're in both in 5-gallon fabric buckets. That's how big they've gotten in that time. So they're doing very, very well. Very well. That's what I would do. I would ask for a cutting from those trees and then grow that cutting and grow it up into your own tree. It's possible. Yep. I just kept watering it and taking care of it, but not meddling with them too much. When they in the beginning, so as to not stress them out, I just didn't mess with them too much. When it was still cold outside, I kept them in the house, kept them in the windowsill, would water them. And then over time, they would get bigger and bigger. Then I moved them from pot to pot. And then over the summer, they have really grown up really nice. I'm just like, wow. Because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. You're in a bad climate for fruit trees. Okay. Yep. And I see you guys talking about neighborhoods supporting each other. During a time like this is the time. This is why I keep telling you guys, co-ops are important. Avocados are cool, but avocados take a lot of water. They take a lot of water to grow avocados. A lot. And then granted, I'm on a well. I don't pay water bill. But it's just the time that I'm thinking about it. But I wouldn't be against it. So, but I just know it takes a lot of water to grow avocado. But I would say this is the time because things are so expensive. Don't forget how I tell you guys, this is where co-ops become very helpful. Work with people in your neighborhood, or you create a network of you as a group, a network of people, and where y'all share goods and services and, you barter things, all of that stuff. True, Trudy. That's why I was like, avocado takes a lot of water. That's a lot. I'd rather just grow something else that doesn't take as much water and time as avocados. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and plant the seeds and stuff for my collards. I meant to do that and I never did it. But it tends to stay pretty warm until November. So I think we'll be able to grow quite a few things before it gets really disrespectfully cold outside, in my humble opinion. Especially with global warming, you tend to, true, wells can dry up. They can. Wells can dry up. Yeah. And you can collect rainwater depending on where you are, because in some jurisdictions, they don't let people collect rainwater. I told you guys about the time my great uncle in North Carolina, they would no longer allow him to collect rainwater because he used to use it to water his crops sometimes and plants. Yep. In every place you can't, because again, governments be wanting money. So because governments want money, they want to do anything they can to control what you can do. They'll even control how you catch water out the sky. Because ultimately, they want that money. You know what I mean? So any way that you're able to make money on your own, government's going to find some way to swoop in to figure out how to get their cut of it. That's why they're paying attention, because government always wants a cut of whatever it is that you make. Government wants a cut of it. Believe that. Now, I saw something else. Hold on. This one, where they were talking about the cost of a home has increased almost 2,000%, right? Almost 2,000% in this time frame. Since the 1968, went from $20,000 to $420,000 on average for a house. Young people can't afford a house with these prices. Most people can't afford a house. My own house I didn't pay no $400. I ain't even paid $350. When I see people buying $500,000 homes, I'm perplexed. Because I look at that and go, you going to spend 30 years to pay off a $500,000 house? Man, get the fuck out of here. Not me. I do not want to be bound where I am constantly a prisoner to this damn mortgage company for 30 years. That's crazy. I'm not doing that. But when I see people buy $500,000 homes, what did I tell y'all before? A lot of it is me asking, what do y'all do for a living? What do y'all do for a living? Because I can't do it. I don't have the capacity to do, obviously, what y'all do. Or how can I be down? Can y'all put me down and help me out with a gig or something? You pay $170, down payment $40K. Our payment is still less than rent. Yeah, but that's smart. But now you ain't gonna even get a house for $170,000. Not happening. If you do, it's a trap. You know what I mean? You wouldn't trust it, because you would go, hold up, how come this house is only that? Because you're so used to homes costing so much, but the price of a home is overinflated these days. We bought an old home too. We bought a home that was built in the 80s. Oh, you only got 4 years left? Congrats to you. When that burden is lifted, when you ain't got to pay no more mortgage, that's going to be life-changing. Okay? That is life-changing. 8 years in and ours is value. That's how we are, Trudy. We're about to hit 10 years and ours, quiet as kept, our value has tripled because of the stuff that's happened around us, where I'm just like, what kind of money y'all got? But it ain't my business. It's not my business. You understand? Because I don't pay it. And we won't refinance, because why? 3% interest. Why would you refinance? Don't make sense to, right? Might as well stay where you at and chill the fuck out. And that's what we do. We stay right here and chill the hell out. We got very lucky. Because when we were looking, it was back in 2016. It wasn't that bad back in 2016. It was before, remember, and it was before COVID. So most people didn't want to live further out. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to be closer into things because it was convenient. People wanted to be close to work. So we got lucky. You know, then a couple years later, bam, COVID happens. Everything changes. People want to move back further out. Home prices skyrocket and things just get even more out of control. Oh, you bought in 2017. Yep. It was still pretty decent around that time. It didn't get bad. Honestly, it got disrespectful. It started getting disrespectful right before COVID. Right before COVID was when it started getting disrespectful. Yep, Obama's economy was a great economy. And Trump got to take advantage of that his first term. Unfortunately, what we're getting is Trump economy. And even though Joe Biden left him some good stuff that he could have built on, Trump comes in and tears it all up. He literally came in and tore it all up. So it's like none of it even mattered. Yeah, those PPP loans, well, you might well call it PPP grants because they didn't have to pay it back. Think about it. They didn't have to pay it back. They did not have to pay it back at all. They got free money that was our tax money. And a lot of them in Congress. That's the part that bothered me the most. A lot of them are in Congress and they got to take advantage of the very thing that they voted on. And then they forgave the debt so they wouldn't have to pay it back. I didn't like that. Yep, and they taxed us on the stimulus checks. Sure did. But you know what? I told y'all, I didn't get a stimulus check because I was still working. So I never got a stimulus check. Never got one. That's why I was confused. I was like, where people getting money from? Because obviously people was getting money. Because you know how you could tell on the internet when people are getting money? Because also you were seeing a lot of scamming happening and stuff like that. I didn't get nothing. Yeah, I didn't get anything. So I'm like, I don't know nothing about no checks. Because I didn't get no checks. Well, they say I don't know nothing about no checks. I was just working and doing what I had to do for work because it didn't change nothing. I should have gotten one. Yeah, we never did. I didn't get one. My husband didn't get one. We never got. We didn't get one. I didn't get a stimulus. Oh, so yeah, some people are getting in trouble behind those PPP loans. But I remember when they were telling people online about scamming, and they were saying to people, you can just start a business and get you PPP loan money. And them people was taking trips and doing all this other shit. They didn't bank on their chickens coming home to roost. But government is always going to go back and check the books. Always. An audit is always going to happen. So you better be above board. Because if you're not above board when that audit happens, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. I don't know. Was there a registration? Because I didn't register for anything. Maybe that's why I didn't get nothing. I'm talking about a regular stimulus check. I ain't talking about a PPP loan because I didn't need that. If you qualified for one, the IRS owes you. The IRS paid my dad after. Oh, well, I owe taxes, so that explains why I didn't get one. They took mine. Yeah, that would explain it. Yeah, they took that shit. They took that because I never got it. I never saw it. But I never saw it. So they must have kept it. Because I've had a one or two that they processed recently. that I saw something they were looking at, because I asked for a review of some old stuff because I felt like something was still wrong. And they were like, yeah, you're right. You were owed this, but we're just going to apply it to stuff that you owe. Okay. In essence, they said you're not getting no money back. All right. And I don't have nothing else to write off. I'm not having no babies. The write-off ain't worth it. That's just a trap. It is not worth it to have a baby to get a tax write-off. The math ain't mathing with that. So I'm not willing to do that. So I ain't got nothing else really going on to warrant, and I'm interested in seeing what the taxes are going to look like once they have all those energy credits that they got rid of. How are people's taxes going to look that was taking advantage of the energy credits? What is that going to mean for folks' taxes? That's crazy. Say it again, Trudy. Babies cost way more than a write-off. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't have no babies. Anybody falling for that stupid trick? Like when Trump was talking about you have a baby, they send you $5,000. That ain't no money. That ain't no money. Not for raising no baby. Shit, what's that? Daycare for a month? That's it. What else you supposed to do with the rest? What else you supposed to do for those other 18 years? Man, that's stupid shit. Only people having a baby based upon getting a $5,000 check is people who are bad at math. Because if you're pretty good at math, you can look at that and go, I think that's a losing proposition. I'm going to have to say no. Thank you. It don't even cover the hospital bill. Gone in the first 3 months. Shit, if you lucky, you'll make it 3 months with $5,000, Crystal. If you're lucky. Because the formula and Pampers alone is enough to eat up that $5,000 like it's nothing. That's why I'm like, anybody's talking about having a baby because the Trump administration, wants to pay money. That's stupidity. You are going to be on the wrong side of everything. And you're going to stay broke. Between daycare, Pampers, formula, clothes, any other food, insurance. Between all of those things, shit, you ain't going to never have no money. You're going to stay on brokenness. Your hospital bill after having my kid after insurance was $4,800. And you know what's crazy? Back when I had my kids, there was no hospital bill after I had either one of them. I paid $0. Nothing. Not a drop. Not nothing extra from what my insurance paid. I ain't paid nothing. That's how insurance has changed too. I didn't realize it. I thought insurance was still the same way when you had a baby. It's covered. It's covered, but the deductibles are a lot higher now. Back when I was having babies, there was no deductible for having a baby. There was no deductible because I didn't have any kids that ended up in NICU or anything like that, so I didn't have those types of services. But for just going in having a baby, $0 deductible. I got no bill from the hospital whatsoever. And I'm trying to think for both of the children. The first baby was Kaiser. Yep. And the second baby was Blue Cross Blue Shield. But no hospital bill. Yep. Because I remember when I had my kids, it was mandatory you had to stay 3 days. I was in there for 3 days. I don't know how they do it now. Yep, credit score started in 89. You're absolutely correct. I don't know how people do it now, but I remember back then you stayed in the hospital for 3 days after having a baby. Look, dude says she had knee surgery in 2000, $75 copay. That included therapy afterwards. Not now. That's good. I remember when my daughter she tore her MCL and her ACL. Ooh, right? Tore it in dance class. She had to have surgery through Kaiser. We had a $20 copay. That was it. Had a $20 copay. That's all we had. $20 copay. And then she did surgery where every time we went to surgery, she had a $10 copay. That was it. I've had Kaiser off and on, and I still have Kaiser now, but there's some breaks where I did have Blue Cross Blue Shield for a minute, which is really good insurance too, actually, if you know how to work it. But I've had Kaiser since 7th grade. Ultimately, that's the longest I've had. And I can tell you, Kaiser is a great insurance company, but you got to know how to work it. And you got to have the right plan too. I had to stay 24 hours. I barely made it. I hate being in the hospital. I can understand that. $900 copay for Kaiser for a surgery I had to have because it might be, oh, wow, that's a lot. That must have been like in the last 10 years for it to be, or at least 5 years for it to be that much. Because at one time, Kaiser would pay. I remember my mother had her rotator cuff. She had rotator cuff surgery 3 times. She paid a $20 copay every time. And she had each one of those surgeries at Johns Hopkins through Kaiser. Kaiser was the one who paid for the surgery, but the doctors were out of Johns Hopkins. Oh, Blue Cross Blue Shield, not so great now. Wow, that's sad to see, man. Because back in the day, they had shit with them then too, but they paid for more. They paid for more. You say you were in the hospital on bed rest for 3.5 weeks in 2017. Luckily, the husband's insurance paid too. Yeah, insurance was different back then. Too expensive, and now things are too crazy now. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm still looking at other countries. And that's why you saw Sanopa and I talking about Veracruz, Mexico, because that's one of the places I'm looking at. Look up Kaiser and Nixon. That was the start of a monopoly of an industry. Okay, I will look that up. The Citizens United came along. Yep. Lobbyists overturned a lot of those plans. A $70 copay. That is insane. That is insane. Yeah, I'm looking into Mexico because frankly, I like the heat. I love heat. Yeah, I deal with heat flashes and stuff, but I love heat. I like humidity. Even though I have multiple sclerosis, there is something about that dry heat down there that doesn't give me a flare up. It ain't like the heat in Vegas. The heat in Vegas is different. It's swampy heat. You know what I mean? It's a much different heat that I don't care for. Oh, you prefer the cold. Okay, that's fair. It helps your nerve damage. Yeah, so I really want to go below the equator because I need some heat. Yeah, I would go in Texas if it wasn't so ghetto, Shauna. It's just too ghetto in Texas, so I won't go there. Yeah, I want the heat. Plus, I'm not a swimmer or anything like that, but I love the water and the breeze and I don't like storms though. See, that's the only thing. With more global warming, living right off the water can be extremely dangerous. So I'm just torn. And I'm also still looking at Canada. I haven't forgotten about Canada either. So, oh, you lived in Texas before days. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Texas heat. See that southern heat is disrespectful because it's humidity. It's the humidity that gets you. Yeah, hurricanes in Mexico. Yeah, I'm mindful of that. So no, I don't like. Well, I like Cowboys, but not the Cowboys, the NFL team. I'm a Redskins fan. What is it? What are we called now? The Washington football team. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Just got to keep it all the way a buck. I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. Yeah. Oh yeah. Commanders. Sorry. Look, I can't even keep up because I don't call them the Commanders. That's why I couldn't even keep up with the name. I don't know those people. See, I'm old enough that I remember when the Side by Side band used to come to my elementary school and stuff, and they used to give us those football cards. We used to get Joe Theismann football cards and stuff like that. So it's hard. It's hard. But I still remember. You say, what about the cartels in Mexico? What about the cartels in America? You know, Pfizer and some of the other companies. You got politicians. Shit, you got way more. Listen, the thing is that this is what I've realized as I've gotten older. America don't have any less vultures than any other country. And frankly, in some respects, they have more. Yeah, Trump let in the cartel family. But I look at it like it can't be no worse than what we dealing with here, frankly, if you want me to be honest. Can't be no worse. I'm looking at countries that have good social safety net systems, ultimately. Because at the end of the day, you never know when you might need a little help. You want a government that is functioning and not just leaving the people up all for themselves. That's what you don't want, because there's no value in that, you know? Oh, thank you guys so much for the likes. But there's no value in that. So that's why for me, I'm looking at it like that. Like I'm looking for countries in which that is important. You said Ireland and Australia are having their own issues right now. Well, I was never going to Australia. They got too much wild shit there. You see them spiders and all that other stuff? If I won't go to Florida for the exact same reason, I damn sure ain't taking my ass to Australia. Oh no. Some of the shit I see on the internet that's popping in Australia, not having it. I keep seeing good stuff about Thailand too. But I'm going to tell you, my concern is always racism. That's my concern. Yeah, other people say Thailand is great. But what about for us, for black folk? That's where I need information on. How is it for black people? You understand where I'm coming from? That's the thing that I'm concerned about. Been to Payata, had a good time. Okay. But you're a male, right? See, that's different. You know what I'm saying. You said, but Thailand and Cambodia always having conflict. Think about that part as well. I've been hearing it's great for us. Guatemala, Antigua, it's beautiful. Okay. You caught that prime position. I'm like, you're a male. The ladies will love you, but it's different for me. Yeah, St. Lucia's beautiful. My concern is tropical storms. You know. Yep, we have to make sure it's safe for black people and women. You have to. Because it doesn't make... My grandmother said, be careful, you don't want to go from sugar to shit. That was always what she would say. New Zealand is gorgeous. Norway is gorgeous too. It's a lot of black people in Norway. Contrary to popular belief. It is a lot of black people in Norway. It's just so cold. And I don't want to be cold all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to always fly to another country to get warmth. So that's what I'm concerned about. Because I don't want to always be cold. I'm not into that. I don't want my standard outfit to always be a parka. You know? I'm like, Oh, certainly days. I know there can be a lot of racism in Hispanic populations. That's also something I'm taking into consideration too. Oh, Brazil is nice. Okay. Again, I'm just worried about tropical storms for a lot of places. That's really all that I'm worried about. Now, I want to say to you all, I thank you all for joining me today. Y'all know we have a great time. Don't forget that starting next week, I'm going to be continuing to do my TikTok lives, but then there's going to be another hour of live that happens unfiltered. But I'll do that probably through Patreon, only because I can talk about anything I want. Because even YouTube getting funny. Have y'all noticed that? Anybody here do content on YouTube? Have y'all noticed that? I hear good things about Portugal. I do actually, and I've seen black people say really good things about Portugal. Have y'all seen how YouTube is acting a little different now too? I don't know if it's all related to Meta and all this other stuff. I don't know what's going on, but I noticed they acting a little funny too. Yeah, I think YouTube is owned by Google. But they're starting to they get real funny about stuff. They're getting more sensitive, I'm noticing. I'll say it like that, which wasn't the case before. So They cared more about copyright infringement and stuff like that. But now I'm getting to see that they're getting more and more sensitive. I'm like, well, shit, if I got to go through all of that, I might as well go over to another site that allows me to speak and say what I want to say and not have to be censored, especially when I'm not talking about anything illegal. You know what I mean? I don't like feeling like that. So that's something that, I've been paying attention to. Because at first I was like, well, maybe it's just me. Yeah, it is feeling a lot of 1984-ish. I thought it was just me, but no, I guess it's not. Yep, I remember when YouTube only had two videos. Like, I remember when YouTube first came out, and I wasn't sure what it was going to be. You say you joined today, you like it. Thanks for sharing. No problem. Now, as we wrap up, I want to remind you all, listen, I told you all about this, and I want to make sure that you don't forget, because I know it's so tight out here, for all of us, okay? Things are extremely expensive. You're going to need some help and need money. I put links on my Patreon to sign up to do market research studies. Basically, that's when companies interview you and just ask you your opinion about stuff. There's no wrong answer. They just want your honest opinion. You need to click the link in my bio, go to my website and click that first link on my website for Patreon, and go to Patreon and check out that pinned post where I list about 10 to 15 companies for you that you can sign up with to do market research studies. You did do it, Clara. Awesome. Awesome. Listen, in a couple of days or weeks, you will start getting emails. When y'all see those emails in your box, remember I told you it's first come, first serve on responding to those questionnaires for surveys. So if you see an email, respond to it, complete the questionnaire, and then from there, if you meet the criteria, someone may contact you for the study. They're going to call you. That's what they always do. They call you to verify the answers that you gave to the questionnaire from the email they sent out. And then from there, if they like your answers, and basically what they're checking is to make sure that the answers that you gave in your questionnaire are the same answers that you give when they call you over the phone. You understand? So if they like what they hear, then they let you know you've been picked for the study. This is the date and time that it's going to happen, or this is the format in which it's going to happen. This is what the compensation is. And they make that clear to you, and you decide if you want to do it. If that's the case, then they send you the final stuff in your email. And then you go do the study. When you do the study, once you finish, you get paid. Some pay really fast. Some pay same day. Some pay within 10 days. Some pay within 30 days. It really depends on the study, but they tell you what it pays. Oh, they do like old white women, but they don't just like old white women. They like black women too. I'm telling y'all, they like everybody. They like men. They like children. Everybody. Trust me on that. Companies love money. So they want to talk to people who spend money. And as long as you're spending money, especially if you do the grocery shopping for your household, you buy cars, you handle finances, you use computers, you play video games, you watch TV, all types of stuff. There's even an app. There's an app. I didn't put it up on Patreon, but I forgot to mention it. There's an app called ProductTube. I think you can find it in, I have an Android phone. So in the Google store, but you could probably find it in the Apple store too. It's called ProductTube, if I'm not mistaken. What's great about ProductTube, if you sign up for ProductTube, and they have a little tutorial in there you have to go through, they will pay you to go to grocery stores. And they'll pay you $20 here, $30 there. If you already got to go to the grocery store, you can also make an extra $20, $30 every time you go. Yeah, check the Play Store. It's called ProductTube. And you go to grocery stores and they have you film displays and how they look, because these manufacturers want to make sure that the displays, hold on, I'll type it out in the thing so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because the manufacturers pay for their displays to be displayed properly. And so these companies, they double check. There you go. They double check to make sure. And the way they double check is using you as a resource, as an independent contractor to go check for them. You said your family did the Nielsen study for about 2 years. Yeah, those Nielsen studies are real. People think that that stuff is not, but it's real, and they pay you. Because otherwise, what's your incentive to keep doing it if they don't pay you? I remember I did a week-long study earlier in the year where I had to go into this message board. I had to go into this website, answer questions every week about every day about what I watched that day in my experience. And it was on watching cable news. I got paid $150 for that. I didn't even have to participate in any discussions. All I had to do was fill out an online questionnaire for 5 days every day that week that asked me about my television viewing habits. That's it. So check it out. I don't get paid any money for telling you about it. I'm telling you about it because I know they're always looking for people, and frankly, it's easy money to make. And check it out. And don't forget S&H coupons. Claire's talking about that as well. Don't forget that. You said first two, they send mail, cash in the mail with the questions. What you mean? I don't understand. You mean Elliot Benson? Oh, you said back when you did it. Okay. Have a good day, ... Yeah, but it's a pinned post on my Patreon. Go check it out, y'all, so y'all can make some money, okay? That's why I'm telling you about it, because these companies are always looking for people. They do pay money. It's easy money to make, and you can use that money to do whatever it is that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And in this economy, any way that you can help to lower the cost of things coming out of your own pocket is always a plus. You said Americans think that they can run to another country. It costs to go. Yeah, that's true. You can't just migrate to another country. You're right, because those countries also have their own immigration laws. And quiet as kept, a lot of countries are toughening up their immigration laws because of what Trump has done in America. Yep. They're trying to make sure, oh no, Americans, y'all not just going to run to our companies and tear shit up. Because they already know how some Americans will be, especially the ones that got a lot of fuck you money. They'll just hop and go to other countries and then try to Americanize those countries. They always try to do that shit. Yep, so you got to be careful with that. But yeah, if you guys haven't done so already, go check out that link and start completing it, because it's the beginning of September. You could get studies this month. So don't wait around to do that. That's why I'm telling you, because you could be making money in September instead of telling me in November, man, I wished I signed up back in September to all those companies you told me about. So, I don't know if he outlawed double citizenship, but it doesn't stick anyway, because a president can't create new laws. Only Congress can do that. So it's not really applicable, because he can't create new laws through an EO. So it doesn't matter anyway. Trump just being Trump. Look, on our way out, let me put up that picture so none of us forget what they say. None of us forget what he looked like today at that press conference, okay? I thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Y'all know I love talking to you guys. If you have any questions about that market research stuff, just let me know. Don't forget, members of Patreon, to check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. The new episode is already available to Circle members and up. All you got to do is just go to your Patreon and you'll see it in there. General public, for the rest of you, it will be available to you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please don't forget about it. Oh, that press conference today was hilarious, was it not? It was hilarity. And he looked tired, did he not? He looks tired. Thank you so much, Boom Like 80s. I'm glad you joined. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Yeah, he looked tired and he looked like he had been sick. I stand by what I say. White House not telling everything. But doesn't he look a hell of a lot older already? Ain't even been president a year. This job is wearing his ass out. Thank you, Dee Dee. Wearing his ass out. So make sure you guys go over and check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. The link is in my bio. I know that you're going to enjoy hearing it. And I also, for members of Patreon, I told you, give me some suggestions about other things you want to hear me talk about. I'm not just bound to talk politics. I talk about all different stuff. That new episode is about going back in time and thinking about how we grew up as latchkey kids and how that shaped us as we are adults now. Right? That's what I wanted, so I talk about all different types of stuff. So come and provide your suggestions. There is no subject that is taboo, frankly, that I won't talk about and really give my perspective. And I say that, cautiously, because people will try to test you. But yeah, I'm going to stand by that for now. But with an asterisk, I am willing to change that if it's something egregious that's suggested. Yeah, that's Trump's real face. Him and Melania are kind of like Beauty and the Beast. But I thank you all for joining me so much. Look, we got 99,000 likes today. I appreciate that so much. We got 136 shares. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Look, we got 100,000 likes now. I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Y'all really support me, and I appreciate that. I be grinding, man, because y'all know I'm unemployed, so I don't be trying to be on the street. So I be out here grinding. What they say, grinding. So, that's what I be doing. So I appreciate y'all so much because I really put in a lot of effort into trying to make my content of something of value. So I appreciate, thank you, Glamour. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to say thank you for joining me today. If you like these conversations, but you want to hear more unfiltered commentary and have more unfiltered dialogue, come on over and check us out on Patreon. The link is in my bio. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. You also need to go over there and find out about making that daggone money. It's too much money to be made with market research studies. Come make the money, okay? Before I wrap up today, I want to send a shout out to my top 5 gifters because I do this every live as an appreciation to you, so you know that I appreciate you for sharing with me your hard work, because that's your hard-earned money, so I appreciate that. But I appreciate all of you, even if you didn't gift. I still appreciate you for being here because you gave me your time. Number 1, beautiful, boom like the 808s. Thank you so much. Listen. Boom like an 808, boom baby. Listen, only some of us will get that. Number 2, beautiful Trail. Thank you so much, beautiful. Number 3, my dog is Charlie. Thank you so much, beautiful, and thank you for helping me moderate. Number 4, beautiful Stacy D. Thank you, beautiful. Number 5, beautiful JK. Thank you, beautiful, and a special shout out to number 6, beautiful dude. Thank you so much, beautiful. I will see you all tomorrow. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on TikTok. Now, I'll tell you, tomorrow afternoon, I may not do a live tomorrow afternoon because I have another dentist appointment tomorrow afternoon. So, depending on how I feel after coming out of that dentist office, then I'll let y'all know. But I'll let you guys. Oh, it's 4 a.m. your time. Thank you so much for rocking with me. If it's 4 a.m. your time, beautiful, thank you. I appreciate that. Now that lets me know, listen, I got to continue to work hard on creating quality content because then people, they're going to rock with you even if it's early in the morning. Thank you so much. Dude, I'm making my dentist to give my business to do regular dental care because I can't talk about MAGA. Right? Y'all don't want me in this live with no fronts. And I'm in here trying to talk about MAGA and I ain't got no fronts. That's not going to work. I won't allow it. I just won't allow it. So I got to go to the judges. You understand? Yeah, I got to go. I can't have it. And I don't want a mouthful of chiclets either. I'd rather just keep my own teeth. They're just fine. They ain't perfect, but they mine. And I just want to keep them. Okay? I just want, I want my grill. Smile for me, daddy. Let me see your grill. Listen, I don't want to, every time I smile, I don't want to be like Miss Sealy, be like, because I don't want you to see my fronts. No, I'm not doing that. So I got to do this dentist appointment tomorrow. So I love you guys. I'll see you in the morning, first thing, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. And I want you to remember, don't let nobody live rent-free in your head, okay? Don't feed the trolls, and you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as you stay consistent. Have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful evening tonight. I will see you in the morning. Be safe. I love you all. Peace, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.